Let's get into a movie review now. I want to talk about Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. It's the new movie streaming on the Roku app, which if you don't know where that is, all you have to do is Google Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, and that first thing that comes up in Google is the Roku website. So it's for free, which is great. And I am a fan of Weird Al Yankovic's music. I didn't know what to expect while watching this movie going into it. And maybe I was completely blindsided. And why would I think that a movie about the greatest parody songwriter who has ever lived wouldn't be a parody movie about the music biopic genre? So I thought that was genius. This movie was so well written. I want to get into more about this movie. But before I do, here is just a little bit of the Weird, the Al Yankovic Story trailer.
Oh, my little hungry one, open up a package of my banana.
Dude, I've got chills.
Every once in a great while, I can spot a talent that I know is the future of music. But first, we gotta find you a stage name. Al Yankovic. It's long, it's hard to pronounce. So I'm just gonna throw this out there. Weird Al Yankovic. I love it.
So the movie stars Daniel Radcliffe, who is most famous for playing Harry Potter, but he's done so many great movies since. One of my favorites of his is Swiss Army Man. So I really feel like in the last decade since Harry Potter, he has reinvented himself. But I just think when you go into a movie like this, people are always like, oh, it's the Harry Potter guy. But I think he was a perfect person to play Weird Al Yankovic because with the costume, he resembles him a lot, and he's just a great actor. So why not get one of the best actors to play Weird Al? But the funny thing about this movie is that it pokes fun at all of the tropes that come along with music biopics. The tropes that I often point out when I go see a movie like Elvis, Bohemian Rhapsody, and all those little things they put in to make those movies seem a little bit more flashy and a little bit more extra than maybe their actual life actually was. You have to make a movie, you have to make it more cinematic. So there's always these little embellishments they do, whether it's like their quick rise to fame, how big a certain song was, and how much an artist took the world by storm. And this movie pokes fun at that. It pokes fun at the quick rise to fame. It pokes fun at the record executives telling Weird Al that he would never make it. And it does a funny job at rewriting history when it comes to the life of Weird Al. So I don't know why I didn't expect that one of the most famous parody writers of all time, if not the most famous, wouldn't do a music biopic parody, which I think historically now, even most recently talking about different genres of movies, I felt like the parody movie was kind of dead. I think historically, when you look back at some of the greats like Airplane and Spaceballs, for me personally, I think because of when I grew up, Scary Movie 1 and Scary Movie 2 are my favorite parody movies, but it's a really hard thing to do. But I think this movie was so well written, and when you have Daniel Radcliffe, also a great, funny supporting cast, a lot of cameos in this movie, it all actually works together. But you have to go into it knowing that the movie is poking fun at the music biopic genre. So if, like me, you are a fan of movies like The Dewey Cox Story or Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping, and I actually may even like this one more than both of those combined, because there was actually a really solid story at the foundation of this entire movie. Because what this movie is about is Weird Al and his relationship with his father. His father did not want him to do music, and they poke fun out of it a lot because, you know, he starts out playing the accordion and listening to polka music, and that's what his dad is not wanting him to do. And then he goes on to achieve success, sell a bunch of albums, but it all kind of comes back to that relationship with his father and going back to him just trying to make his parents proud. So at the core of it, even though as ridiculous as this movie goes on to become, it is telling that relationship. And maybe it's the only thing that's actually true out of this entire movie. I guess I was kind of expecting to learn a little bit more about his life, but at the end of it, I just wanted to watch a funny, entertaining movie, and that's what I got. I really enjoyed the whole plot line that came with him meeting Madonna and their relationship in this movie. I thought that whole thing was pretty funny. Doesn't look like there's any truth to that. So I think on surface level, you could watch this and think this is a pretty dumb movie, but it's also just a lot of fun and enjoyable, especially if you're a fan of Weird Al Yankovic's music, a fan of parody movies, and want to see a different side of Daniel Radcliffe. And there's also just a lot of fun cameos, Rainn Wilson, Jack Black, just a bunch of funny people that also make this movie work. And it's available for free. So I know when they came out saying that it's on Roku Channel, you think, where do I even find this movie? If you just Google Weird the Al Yankovic Story, the first thing that comes up in Google is the Roku website. So you just click it and you can watch it there on your computer. If you have the Roku app on your Amazon Fire Stick, or if you have the actual Roku device, you can watch it there for free too. So an interesting way to get people to this movie. I kind of like that, just being able to watch it on an app's website and not have to subscribe to a different kind of streaming service. So I think this is a pretty big get for them to go over to Roku Channel. I don't think I've ever went over there to watch a movie. So if I had to rate this movie, I would give it 4 out of 5 Hawaiian shirts. It's exactly what I needed right now. Something fun, something mindless, and something to remind me that you can still make a good parody movie.